Hey everyone, welcome to the Quarantine Kitchen. Today we're going to do an Italian classic. We're going to do carbonara. Now there are three types of carbonara. There's a chicken carbonara, there's carbonara that use ham, and another one that use bacon. I'm going to do the chicken carbonara mainly because I like chicken. So we'll go through step by step. This, once again, is a very simple recipe, and chances are you have everything you need right in your pantry or in your refrigerator. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to go through the basic ingredients. The first one is we're going to have a cup of Parmesan cheese. That's 8 to 10 medium-sized mushrooms sliced. Normally I'd use portobello, but guess what? I can't find portobello at the grocery store right now. We have 2 eggs, which we are actually going to mix with the Parmesan right before we serve it. It's going to be like a cream sauce. We have a half a cup of peas. If you don't want to add the peas, don't worry about it. We have basil, a stick of butter, which is what we are going to saute the mushrooms in, along with some olive oil, and then a teaspoon of salt. Here are your meat options. Like I said, one of them is ham. You would take this up and cube it and probably use about a cup of this. Second one is bacon. This is a real popular one too. The only reason I don't use bacon is I find it kind of heavy already with the cream sauce, and I think the bacon just makes it even more so. And then we have the chicken breast, which is still frozen. I'm actually going to do this chicken breast in one of my favorite gadgets, the George Foreman grill. I'll show you how to use this. I use this a lot for a lot of different things. Actually, the George Foreman grill is great for doing shrimp, fried zucchini. You can do mushrooms on it. I've done brats wrapped in bacon. I find it to be a very handy device, very versatile. People just think you use it for hamburgers or chicken. It's a lot of different things you can use with the George Foreman grill. Okay, so we have our pasta water in a rapid boil. This is an important part of making pasta. You've got to have it in a rolling boil. I usually add more water than what it says, but I make the water super salty. I mean, you need to taste the water and think, wow, that's a lot of salt, because that salt's going to get absorbed into pasta. A lot of pasta is very light on salt, so to bring out the flavor of the pasta, you need to have the water very salty. I'm starting to saute my mushrooms here. I salted to taste, and we'll probably ground some pepper on them also. Next thing I'm doing is I've got the cup of Parmesan cheese and the 2 eggs together, and what I need to do here is mix these 2 up, and they'll become like a cream sauce. Once again, kind of hard to do one-handed, but I can do it. Well, that's kind of pasty, but once you put it on the pasta, it's going to loosen up, and we're going to put that on right after we drain the pasta. So there you go. So we're going to set that to the side. Then once these mushrooms get nice and cooked, I will be adding the peas and the basil. I'm about ready to put the chicken on the George Foreman grill. Now, the George Foreman grill, the secret to it is to make sure you preheat it. I can always tell when mine's preheated because it starts to pop. You can kind of hear the heating coils expand. So that gives me an idea that it's ready to go. Of course, now that I said that, it's not popping, but it was popping before. There you go, you can hear it. So I'm gonna put this chicken in for about 5 minutes. It doesn't take long to cook. The chicken's slightly frozen, but that still should not be a problem. There we go. Siri, set a 5-minute timer. So the mushrooms and the peas are cooking nicely here. I'm gonna have to sweat these down a little bit to get the moisture from the mushrooms to sweat off. Okay, I've got my pasta cooked and drained. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the teaspoon of basil, sprinkle it over the top, and stir it in. Now, the reason I do this is because it's dried basil, the heat and the moisture from that pasta will release the flavors, and you can smell it already. It really smells good. And then we're going to take the mushroom, peas, and chicken and put it in also. You see I'm mixing all that up and kind of getting it evenly distributed. The last thing we're gonna do, and this is gonna go fast, is we're gonna add the egg and Parmesan mixture, and it'll be ready to serve. I've added the Parmesan and the egg, and I'm gonna put this on pause so I can get this a better stir. Here it is, the final product, chicken carbonara. I'm going to have a glass of wine with it. I'm going to do a nice Cabernet Sauvignon. With this, I'm probably just going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese over it. I'd love to have freshly grated Parmesan cheese, but couldn't find it. So there you go. We have chicken carbonara. Try it. Let me know what you think. It's a tradition in Italy, northern part of Italy especially. Share the video if you think somebody else would like to try it. I'd love to hear your feedback. And signing off from the Quarantine Kitchen.